Welcome to the All About the Gers podcast with Ricki, Neill, Derek Ferguson and Charlie Miller. All About the Gers is brought to you by the JR Group, Bugden Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, Reflex Blue, The Right Software, and Dev Provider. Our chosen charity is the Second Chance Project. All About the Gers are official agents for the Rangers Lotto. For more info and weekly blogs, check out allaboutthegers.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to All About the Gers podcast with myself, Ricki, Neill, Derek Ferguson and Charlie Miller, and we've got a very, very special guest. We've got Marvin Andrews. How you doing, Marvin?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
How lucky.
Royalty we've got in my presence tonight. So we're very lucky.
A believer in blue.
Yep, so we're going to be talking about Marvin's book later on, but what we'll do first, big thank you obviously to all our sponsors and our brand new sponsors as well, the Right Software Company and Dev Provider. We'll go straight into it because obviously we've got a busy show, so straight into the Motherwell game. Myself and Fergie were actually at the game. First 10-15 minutes I was really impressed with Rangers and it just went flat. What are you thinking, Charlie? Were you impressed? Or?
The first night I was watching it on wasn't really very good. I thought we did start very well. I thought we looked good, but then it's a terrible goal to concede. Tav lets the cross in come in a wee bit too easy. Then I don't know if Proper was shouting at Suter to leave it because there was nobody in between him and Suter. And then there was obviously something behind Proper, but it was just a bit comical, just the way the season's kind of started.
It was. Marvin, what do you think to it start this game?
Yeah, well, as I said, everybody can see it. Good start, get a goal ahead, and then obviously a few minutes later to come and lose the OG in that way with Proper starting his first game as well, obviously. But it can happen, I don't think there is nothing they could have done or whatever. It's just sometimes when you're going through a bad time, that is the rubber that you get sometimes. Because when you look at it, it just fall off his head. He planted his foot, it hit him straight on his instep and ended up in the bottom corner.
Yeah, so, Marvin, do you think playing at Hampden has been quite a big disruption for the players? Because myself and Fergie were there on Saturday and I thought that the atmosphere was terrible. Obviously, you had the Union players down at that one bit, but I just felt the whole rest of the stadium, it was just...
It's never a good atmosphere at Hampden, though.
No.
The Union Bears were brilliant, as they were the other night. But that stadium does nothing for me. That's what I kept saying to you during the game, because not at one point, normally with the Union Bears, when they start a wee song, it kind of starts to reverberate around the stadium. Not at one point did that happen.
Do you think, Marvin, the players would notice that on the pitch?
It's a hard one to call because as a professional footballer, as I said, if you want to play football, as I said, Fergie and guys on...
Forgot my name.
I was thinking that.
Fergie and Charlie. Obviously, they grew up on playing on ash. You understand?
That's right.
Because they wanted to play. So for me, once you have a good... You look at the football pitch now to back then, I think once you have a good football pitch, because I think as an ex-player, is the players makes the atmosphere.
Yep. And see 100%, and see what you're saying. And people are having a pop at Clermont. Our team are worse than they were last season.
People are still having a pop at League One.
I know. But our team's worse than last season. And Clermont's hands are tied behind his back with who he can bring and who he can't. Cortez is injured after first game. Proper's just getting up to fitness. Cherny's no fit. But the boys, we spent £1.5 million on Ngama, and he's not going to play. I think if we spent £1.5 million in Shankland, then he would be playing in the team. But obviously, there's a big reason for that, and I think it's because he doesn't fancy Shankland. So I don't see that happening, that one. But there's no players on the pitch, apart from maybe Cherny, who done wee turn and the goal, that can get the fans off the seat. Yeah. There's no many players in that team that do it.
Aye. Do you know, there's our old friend Curry Munchers actually made a good point there. He says he didn't believe in the whole disruption going to Hampden, because he says we won 55 and we had no fans at the stadium, so that is a good point. But Fergie, one of the players that I've been impressed with so far, he's only had a couple of games, but I think Tierney is going to be a player.
Oh, well, it was clear to see. His goal was a wee touch of class. A wee bit frustrated, and we'll come on to it, that he wasn't starting the other night. We were decent in the first half. I don't think we were any better.
I thought we were.
I don't think we were any better than that. We lost our way in the second half. He made a few changes, but we've got, there's a, you can clearly see there's a lack of quality throughout that squad, even for the bench as well. We've still got an issue fitness wise as well. We're talking about Tierney getting up to speed. A few of the others don't look sharp at all, and we're not talking about fitness, we're looking about sharpness as well. So there's a number of issues. There's issues with players that don't want to play with us, that we're hearing that if they play another game, their wages go up, they get a lump sum. So that's a bit of a mess behind the scenes. So the good thing on Saturday was we got a win, and we needed that badly. The first win of the season, and we needed that to get a bit of confidence. But I'm going to slightly disagree with the guy. I just don't like Hampden whatsoever.
Hampden's horrible.
And it's atmosphere-wise, and that's how I was intrigued to go in there on Saturday and sit there. And I was watching the punters as much as I was watching the game. And see, when you're in at Ibrox, I get that feel. Maybe it's just me. Maybe Marv's touching on it because you're Rangers minded. There's something that it does to you. I get nothing when I'm at Hampden, and it's horrible to say that.
Right. Marvin, Cyril Dessers scored again at the weekend, but he's still getting a hard time for the fans. Do you think it's quite harsh, the treatment he's getting?
I was said, when you want to play for a club of Rangers magnitude, you have to expect that. And I think no fan is wishing him bad. I think every Rangers fan wants him to do well. He's a hard, honest, player. He runs about, he puts himself about, he scores the odd opportunity he gets. But I think the greatest problem is the opportunities that he misses. You understand? And when you're a player, he's considered the main striker for Rangers at the moment. You understand? So his opportunities he gets, he need too many opportunities to score.
When you go, Marv, I think Marv makes a brilliant point, because all the Rangers fans, anytime they take to the field, we want them to do well. Of course we do. But what happens during the game is fans react to players a missed time pass, a missed chance. That's natural. So you've got to deal with that.
As I said before on the show, Goffey says you're only as good as your last pass at Ibrox. That's never a true word saying. But as you said, Dessers does work his ass off. He works for the team, and I think he maybe does too much, because every time he's in the box, he has to take 2 or 3 touches to get sorted. They must be knackered. So instead of just hitting it first time, he's kind of thinking, right, touch, to try and, because he's not confident hitting first time. But I think he does too much work, and it might sound stupid, but he does a lot of running about, and he's knackered when he's in the box.
We don't doubt that. When I was sitting chewing the fat with an ex-Rangers centre forward, wee Billy Dodds, and I was asking Billy, and Billy just clearly says, see, in those areas that he gets the opportunities, get your strike off as quick as, and we know that, we've seen it so often now, he needs that other touch. So and that's a guy that didn't think, he knew the goals don't move, just get your hit off.
It seems to be the ones that he's time to think about, he misses.
You just hit them, but you sclaff him and you dare a goalie. It bounces out his leg or whatever. Just hit the bloody thing. But there's no doubt in his commitment, the guy, because he's committed a game that 100%.
And Charlie, the worrying thing is as well, if he picks up an injury, who else do we look to? Neill has not had any minutes. So who are we looking at? Who's going to play that role? So it's like that. When he takes to the field, you're hoping he has a good game, but you're hoping does he pick up an injury?
Do you know, Marvin, Charlie's been shouting for weeks about playing 2 at the top. Do you think something like that would help Dessers?
Yeah, but as I said, we living in an era of football now. Everybody want to be Pep Guardiola and play this false 9 and stuff. Because I'm being honest to you, because I believe once Rangers is playing at home, you play with 2 strikers.
Yes,
and that is just my personal belief. Because obviously, when I played at Rangers, We had Big Dado and Nacho up front. There is no defence could have handled those two at that time.
Do you know, it's funny, every time I hear you say believe, I just think that picture. Honestly.
But I said that before we started, but I think Cherny could solve a problem in behind. I think he could probably play in the hole where Lawrence is playing. And as I said, I think Lawrence is a good player, but it's just not getting about the picture. He's not creating as much as we want him to create. And I think Cherny would probably be more suited in it. And I thought McCausland done well last night. I was shocked when they take a wee man off because he was one of our best players last night.
In fact, we'll just move on to last night. Were you working the game last night?
Yes, I was.
What was your thoughts before the game? Do you think we had a good chance? Or was
I thought it was, be honest with you, it was a 50-50 game for me. But if we'd have been at Ibrox, I genuinely think it would have been 70-30 in our favour. I think they were there for the taking. I don't think they were that clever at the back. It was a pretty even game up until the sending off, which was obviously, hopefully we'll get a few of the guys,
Their play acting was ridiculous. Their play acting was unbelievable.
Do you know something? See, when I saw the incident, I thought to myself, I didn't even see a foul there. And then I'm thinking, he must have elbowed him. And then, because I was working with the monitor, 10 seconds later, you see it again, and there's absolutely nothing in it. So I was gobsmacked when the referee produces that another yellow, another yellow. And then there's my favourite subject, VAR, which absolutely does my nutting. So they've got this rule in that obviously they can't look at that. I'm sitting at the game, 10 seconds later I look at it and it's clear to me that it's not a yellow card, it's not even a foul. So how can somebody know in a studio, he's already got the earpiece on and say, listen, you've totally got that wrong, ref. Just rescind the card and we carry on. I'm not saying we would have went on and won the game, but there was nothing in it. It was on a knife edge. Yeah. But as soon as it's sending off, I think our chances just diminish.
Right, well, there's John Keane online saying, good evening, guys. Hope you're all well. Great to see Marvin and show. The ref was terrible last night, but do you think he cost us the game, Marvin?
100%.
Yes.
I believe it was there to, just as Derek said earlier, is that it was an even game. And the game, when you looked at the game, it all planned out who's going to get a first goal, most likely is going to win the game. Yep. Because as I said, Kiev wasn't nothing special. Obviously, I think everybody had a fear they would have been special because the 9-2 aggregate first result. But there wasn't nothing special. I think, obviously, we are still in a team of rebuilding and getting cohesion. So I thought, with the atmosphere and, just, pure character and a bit of break or luck, that, you get the odd break and get a goal and we go on and win it. But as I said, once we get a man send off, obviously it just messed the game up. But, to touch on that with the VAR situation, because football is changing, I think they'll have to have a look at that because that is a key moment in the game. You understand? It's the same way when a goal is scored.
Absolutely.
You understand? You bring it back, obviously, if it's a handball in the build-up to it, and then you scrap it. So for me, if the referee get it wrong, that wasn't a foul, you understand?
And then Ibrox win.
I think they need to definitely have a look at that because this rule where you can't look at a second yellow card, that's giving the referee a license to make.
They're saying because if we look at every yellow card, it's going to take forever. But there you go, a game of that magnitude, so important, and that's what I'm trying to get across. 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds. I see it now. They must see it in the studio, Charlie. So you in the referee's ear. By the way, it's not a yellow card, it's not a foul, and then we've got a playing field that we can go and try and compete with them. But as soon as we lose, we go a man down.
For me, it was uphill.
Aye.
And his first tackle wasn't even a booting. His first tackle was as
I'm
soft
glad you
as
said
anything.
that, because I felt that as well.
It was terrible. Their play acting. Did you see Yarmolenko when the boy got done, when he got sent off? He was there cheering at him, and the boys up 2 seconds later, nothing. I'm going, every single time one of your players went near them, they were done. And I thought they were going to get this stupid play acting out the game. A few years ago, they were clamping down on it. My word, it was so annoying. But I thought we'd better at the game, as in we have chances. They had a couple of crosses across goal, but Butland didn't have anything to do. I'm thinking, but I can't remember really Butland making a save.
He had a couple of moments against Tav when they got 1v1.
Yes, but that was the crosses.
Just crosses, but no
Aye.
saves, aye.
But
You're right.
The ball across goal, you think, oh shit, he's at the back post. Jan Malenko misses one. But we had one where if Lawrence can get out his foot quick enough, he hits it first time, one it can come in. And then Diamandi at the start of the second half's got to hit the ball. He's got to hit it. McCausland had one, I think, early in the first half. We started really bright, I thought, in the first 5-10 minutes. But it's not the Ibrox road. It's definitely it's not the same.
No, I agree with you as well. I thought McCausland was really good, and the amount of runs you get through, and then his kind of final shot and goal. See if he works on that. I think he's going to be a cracking player.
I love his attitude. Do you know that? Because he's not a starter. Again, like last night, he got hooked off, but he gives you absolutely everything. So he does, and he has got qualities. Just look at the first leg. That when he cuts inside, hits the post. I think we're just a wee bit too quick to criticise a young guy like that. We need to encourage him. We need to get behind him.
And I'm listening to the phone on the way in, and a Rangers fan phones up and says he thinks McCausland's so lucky that he's like a Rangers fan. He's won a competition to play for Rangers. That's what he said. That was.
I heard it myself.
I'd have been a Celtic fan.
No, he wasn't. He was a Rangers fan.
Aye.
But that was just a ridiculous comment.
Do you know, I'm just come back to Tierney again in the Motherwell games. He's one player that, see when he hit the ball and he's going near the goal, he looks like he's confident that he's going to score. You can see that goal he scored. Just the space opened up for him.
Can I touch on just a wee thing, Ricky, with that? Because he should have started last night. We should have started with our strongest side. But then you hear the reasons why. I think the manager in a game which was so important to us, not just with the prestige, but financially, and you go to start with your strongest side, why do you need to listen to the sports scientists and the medical team? It's as if they decided.
It's a player must know. The player must know.
But this is where I'm going to go, Charlie, because the managers that I played under, it was Greggy, Jock Wallace, Graham Souness, even with Walter being there, you know, there comes a time when you listen and you take on board what the medical team are telling you, and the sports scientists. I get all that he might be at risk of picking up a strain or something, but that was too big a game, too important of game. But anyway, the way I view it, I don't know if you agree with me, every time you cross the white line, you might pick up a knock or whatever. It's just the nature of the business, and I thought that was a missed opportunity, and that's why I looked at the manager last night. I thought you should have started him.
You used to always play with niggles. He played with a bloody cruciate ligament injury.
He played with no knee.
So
one knee.
You used to always play with niggles because you wanted to play. You wanted to play, and imagine a sports scientist saying to Greggy or Walter or Souness, no, you're not playing him a day. You can only play 45 minutes. The physio would have been in his office with an ice pack in his eye.
It's the one with John Brown. John Brown's playing up at Pittodrie, and they've already told him, if you play this game, you've got a right good chance of rupturing your Achilles, which is horrendous. And what does he do? He takes a wee injection, on he goes. So it's just a wee gripe of mine. I think the manager should take the responsibility and say, no, listen, this is too important financially as well.
The players go to know. Like Marvin nearly made Doc McGuinness crash his motor. He did. He nearly made him cry, and he said, I'm going to play. I'm alright, I'm not getting an operation. What?
Do you know what I think we need then? Because, you know, this season and last season, all the fans have always been on about why are we getting all these injuries. You know, is it the doctor, is it the fitness team? I think we should just put Marvin in. Somebody comes in with
that is not a bad shout.
Comes in with a broken leg. Just believe, big man, you'll be fine.
Big Marv, John Brown, get him in there. That should be the medical team. It's just a frustration. I think we can. He's maybe listened a wee bit too much, and I think he's big on that as well, to be honest with you. They ever picked up another one last night, Ridvan, as well, with Yilmaz. Looks as if he's going about for a wee bit.
I mean, I can't imagine any player that wouldn't want to cross the white line. You know what I mean? Even if they've got a wee niggle.
But my argument is, that's what I'm trying to say, is when you get there, it could be a knock, it could be anything, you know, so that's where it's risk and reward.
What helped it as well was my win bonus was more than my wages. That's a massive reason why I wanted on that.
Appearance fee as well.
100%.
They're saying it's a potential loss because we're never getting the Champions League, about £40 million. Me personally, I really want to concentrate on winning the league this year.
Yep.
But Marvin, what do you think? You know, if you were obviously you want to play at the highest level, but how do you feel about being out of the Champions League already?
Well, to be honest, every Rangers fan, we wanted to make progress of this Champions League because of the money, not because of the of playing in the Champions League. Because when we look at our squad, we should not even be close to Champions League because we just don't we're not ready for that level, as if we're as honest as we can be. So as I said, I think if you want to say, it's a blessing in disguise, to be honest, but obviously we missed out on the pot of money which will help the club probably going forward, or buying players or getting other players in which the club needed. You understand? But when we look at our squad, Champions League, we're just not at that level. I think we will even find it difficult even in the Europa League. You understand? With the squad, obviously, if the manager comes and add a few here and there. But I don't think Rangers Football Club at this moment in time is ready for Champions League. I think the main focus should be domestic, where we come with this club, Rangers Football Club, to dominate domestically again. And once we get that back, then we can start rebuilding and thinking about Europa League and Champions League.
I totally agree with that.
But at the moment, for me, we need to get our home sorted.
It's been shambolic. Since we won the league 3 years ago, it's been shambolic. For board all the way. Giovanni, his football wasn't the best. Other players had chucked it for him. I don't know what. But he got us to Europa League final. We won the Scottish Cup. And then didn't back him. Didn't back Gerrard. We gave Beale a pot of money who hadn't even done anything in the game. And he blew it. Now we've got Clement and McCanny. I think he spent 5 million or something. Even if it is that. Because we've got free transfers.
There's Gordy online saying a post-match interview with Clement. Don't need to be Colombo to see that. Was a pitch to the board to give him more budget. Thoughts of where this can come from. Great show, lads.
You just feel his hands are tied now, aren't they? You know, he's waiting and bodies going out before he can get bodies in, and that's a frustration. They guys, and I'm talking about Cantwell and Hadji, they're on good money.
Hadji scored a hat-trick at the weekend.
Did he?
But they want to be. They want out. Him and Cantwell have to go. People maybe say they should play them until they're away. No, because if you're playing them before other guys who want to play and want to be there, then doesn't look great. Get the two of them at the door right away. If we have to take 2 million for Cantwell or 3 million for Cantwell, whatever they want, just get them out. Same as Hadji.
That's the problem, Charlie. It's like we need somebody to take them. We need to get them off the wage structure until we get players in.
I'm a fan of Cantwell. I like Cantwell.
So they are.
But this is a problem that the manager's got. Until they go, and I don't know what money they're on, but until they're offered better, they've got because they'll have. Listen, it's a short career. They've got families maybe to look after as well. So we don't know their circumstances. So it's a difficult one. It's a bit of a mess.
Well, it was online today saying Hadji wants to stay and prove that he can be a Rangers player.
Right. Well, that's the sort of thing you like to hear. No, what you hear if you can't. Well, I don't know that situation, but the manager says he would leave the door open for Cantwell, but it looks for most part that he's no interested. So we need to kind of cut our losses somewhere there and try and get them out the door, because I feel for the manager. You can tell that we've no got the. Marv just spoke about it. We're nowhere near Champions League. No. Europa League, we might even struggle a little bit. I just look at the squad. It's quality-wise.
Why is Sterling not starting? Why is he not starting the game last night?
That's just what I'm saying. Is this a sports science? Is the medical side? I don't know.
The same sports science. Sterling cannot play 2 back-to-back games.
It was subbing Saturday as well, was it not?
Because I'm telling you, he can't, because the sports science, I don't know the nitty-gritty. So I'll give you an example. Remember when we played Ross County away? Yeah. Running in for the league. Everybody was crying out for Sterling to play.
He has to play up there as well.
Then we played Barisic. Then I think we were 2-1 down by then. They brought Sterling on a few minutes. Because for some reason, the sports science is saying he can only play a certain amount of minutes. He's in the same boat, the same situation. And that's what I'm saying. The manager hands a tie, obviously, is a completely different area from when we played.
But you're saying that, is that like just now, or else
It's
all
up-
through the season.
all-
So he can't
all
play.
his life.
He can't play Saturday, Thursday, Saturday, Thursday,
No.
Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday.
No.
What's he used to be a football player? Then?
But by the way, and that's a great point, because you even says, well, you know yourself, maybe you're no as fit as Big Marv, but we could manage our way through a game in different ways. Do you know what I mean? So, it's as if they've took over.
Because
you know?
like for instance, when last have we seen Sterling play a full 90 minutes for
That's
Rangers?
a good point.
I think
Since he have signed for Rangers,
And,
he played a few in a row, didn't he? Then
That's what I'm
he got
saying.
injured.
and then the other side of it, Marv, look at Desers, who's playing every minute. Wee Barron is playing practically every minute.
Diamande.
yeah,
Aye.
exactly. So,
Even Tavernier as well, every minute. You know.
so you're saying
Butland. Play Butland up front with Dessers and put Kelly in goal or
Well,
something.
there's another one. I know we want, because it just brings it in. Big Proper. Oh, we go 1-0 down. He charges forward, playing up top. See if that came for the manager. I'm thinking, right, we need a goal. So be it. I'll take one of the centre backs off, put wee Danilo on for the last, what was it,
10
10
minutes or
minutes or whatever, and see if we can just get us something. I didn't understand that as well. But
So Danilo, can he not play any minutes?
well, that's what I'm
Sports
saying.
scientist.
So this is another thing that we're looking at. For me, Danilo should have come on Saturday against Motherwell.
Yeah.
At least just to give him a
20 minutes or 10 minutes.
Exactly, just to see how his knee will hold up with, if you ain't give him that opportunity then, so I think there's something wrong still. I think they don't trust his knee.
They were talking about Linton or something, Clement said.
I said that to you,
he
didn't I?
said that. I wasn't so sure, but you said that right away to me. But even for his mindset to
but
get a
it-
wee bit of some minutes.
I could talk from my experience. But when you're coming back from a knee injury, and because it's been damaged, you will limp
Aye.
until you get the confidence
Yeah.
to keep
Aye.
it. It's
Yeah.
just part of nature. You understand? If you damage your ankle, the same thing, you
Yeah.
limp on it. But
Aye.
once you start getting
Aye.
the confidence,
Well, I
thing-
done my ankle twice,
Exactly.
so I don't know.
So I think he's in the same position with him. Give him a run out.
Give him something.
As I say, but we come back again. For some reason, with the team or with the management, we don't want to take risk. And if you want to be successful in life, you have to take risk.
And that's what I'm saying to you, Ella. Risk and reward.
Reward?
I'm feeling pure positive now,
We'll
listening
never,
to Marvin.
we'll never know.
Believe it in blue. Believe it in blue.
Just before we came on air, Marvin, the Sun reported that there's going to be no more away fans for the next two games in Old Firm. What do you think about that?
We're spoiling Scottish football, and we have nobody to blame. Obviously, Rangers and Celtic are to blame for that. I've said we've been playing the game long enough, and when it comes to the Old Firm, it is considered one of the greatest in world football. You understand me? I watched the display of the both fans for the cup final. Unbelievable. You just can't match it anywhere in the world. Both displays and everybody, the rivalry between the fans. But then when you just have just one set of fans in either stadium, for me, it's killing the Scottish game. The Scottish game is already struggling. This is going to just continue to make it worse and worse. And then before you know it, I think the Sky and the TVs and stuff, they'll just pull aside. And I think Scottish football could be really, really in problems if we don't get it sorted.
Great point.
I never actually thought about it for like Sky Sports kind of thing.
I'm scored it
But
by one.
if I'm Rangers, I'd just go and sell the Old Firm game to other companies myself. Rangers and Celtic could make fortunes or sell. Just be selling the 2 home games each.
No.
Probably more than the 50 million that the whole league get off Sky.
Oh well, right, we've got your new book, Marvin. I'm just going to Believe It in Blue. So,
Long's that going to take you to read that, Charlie?
There's not a football in it.
There's
Not a football in it.
Is there no hundreds of photos in there?
There's not a football in it. He just headed it.
You can header it
Well, I had a
further.
football. Well, there's a football.
Proper centre, proper centre back. No, but it's at the picture because you used to header it for miles.
anyway, what inspired you to write your own book?
Well, what happened is obviously I wrote a book before in 2006 when I left Rangers to go back to Rate Rovers. I ended up writing a book when I went back to Rate Rovers. You understand? So Gordon Brown, Obviously, he was the Chancellor to become Prime Minister. So he asked me to come back to Rate to help Rate, get back to where they belong. Because they were really struggling. I think they were in either the 3rd Division or League 1, League 2 back then. And he asked me to come back, and, help bring back the fans and the supporters. So I said, you see, I can arrange, obviously, to write your autobiography and stuff. So I did it, but it wasn't published properly. So a lot of people didn't know I had a book out and stuff like that when it was wrote in 2006. So I just felt within my heart that, I should rewrite it again and get it published properly and stuff like that. And that's when I went to David Mason, asked him about it, and he said, yeah, he can think. So you get a look at the old book, have a read through it, and he said, there's a lot of stuff where it was jumping from one bit to the other, so you can expand on it. And then obviously I played with 10 other clubs after that from 2006. So obviously only retired in 2016 as, my last manager, Barry Ferguson at Clyde. So, and that was it, Barry Ferguson and obviously Bob Malcolm. They were my managers. I never thought that would ever happen, but obviously it was a good time with them at Clyde, and obviously I decided to retire in 2016. So a lot more from the first book has been added on, obviously, because I played with a lot of different clubs.
Do you know what I think you should do? I think you should bring out an audio version of it, an audio book. How good would that be?
I need to ask my boy Scott Kyle said to me today, it could be mine, with my book.
Aye.
He said I should bring it out in audio, because speaking, you obviously, you know me, you would understand. Well, you probably wouldn't understand. I don't understand what Marvin's saying. I was going to ask for subtitles for Marvin, but Scott Kyle said I should bring mine out audio. The proper Charlie.
Proper Charlie.
That's what mine is called. My mate's like, what are you calling it that for? I'm saying, it's me. And there's obviously, the Charlie gets called proper. I've done it. I'm like, oh my word.
So tell us a wee bit about how Rangers came calling for you. How did that all go about?
Right, so I was at Livingston, 2004. Obviously, Livingston was going through administration at that time. And obviously, I was getting half of my wages. My wages was cut in half, obviously, because the administration come in and they cut your wages and they dictate who stays at the club and who can be sold on and stuff like that. So I stayed there, obviously played with Livingston. Obviously, we made the CIS Cup final, what they call the Insurance Cup final, again, beat Hibs in 2-0. And obviously, I didn't know where my career was going. But in between that, Dundee United came calling for me. Charlie was there.
Was it Dundee United? Brilliant.
Dundee United was there. So Charlie Miller, I didn't even know he was there.
The manager came in. I'll tell it after.
Right, you tell it after. So the manager, Biggie, what is it? Ian McCall. Ian McCall is the manager and stuff, and then obviously the chairman who passed away and stuff like that. Both of them was there. So obviously, I obviously because of my faith, my belief in God, I prayed about it and I felt it wasn't the right move for me. So I went up there. Obviously, they offered me a 3-year contract. I was getting twice time the money I was getting at Livingston. So I thought to myself, so I went up and see them to show me around, the Dundee United Stadium and stuff. And they said, Marv, we have a 5-year plan. We want you to be part of it and stuff. And I just walked in the chairman's office and I was like, Marv, what do you think? Here's the contract, sign it. And I just said to them, I don't think God want me to sign here. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah, I don't think. They said, Marv, tell me you're having a laugh. I was like, no, I'm telling you, I don't think God want me to sign here. And honestly, it just was a meltdown after that. Obviously, the Sun newspaper get it and stuff. And God is not an Arab, and God is against the tangerines and
but
stuff.
Ian McCall comes down and says to us, I said, well, they've signed Big Marv. And he goes, no, God told him not to sign for Dundee United. And I'm like, huh? He's nuts. And then 2 weeks later, he signs for Rangers. I'm going, I believe in God. He's right. What the hell?
Yeah, so that, and then obviously a few weeks later, it was in the Sun newspaper. Rangers were interested in me and stuff. But obviously, back then you didn't have social media as you had now, so I didn't really believe what the Sun or the Record was saying, or the news of the world is what you get on the Sunday. But as I said, didn't really believe that.
Paper.
Yeah, and then as I said, I got a phone call from Barry Ferguson agent, John Viola. Was John Viola back then, and obviously he called John Viola. He said, Marv, the rumours are true and I can make it happen, and that's how it all started off. And before you know it, I went to Edinburgh, signed a pre-contract while playing for Livingston Rangers.
So God was bloody right.
He was.
To be fair, I had 4 good years at done. I didn't enjoyed it, but it was the best thing that ever happened to you, a big man. Obviously, signing for Rangers, and it was great, and I'll never forget that day. So, one of the best days of my life.
I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about that. I was just thinking, Marv, could you not do a prayer and get us a good striker?
I'm praying, but they're not listening to God.
Beetlejuice and get his head smaller.
I get Beetlejuice.
God is probably telling them, but they're just not listening.
What was your most memorable moment? Obviously, Helicopter Sunday must be right up there. So
Yeah, Helicopter Sunday will obviously go down as one of the greatest days in wearing Rangers shirt. But I think also one of the days was obviously when we went to Parkhead. Obviously, we didn't win there for 5 years, and Alec McLeish say we need to change that. Obviously, we were just coming together as a team. No Rangers team has won there in the past 5 years, and we said, we need to make that a change. And then we went there, we beat them 2-0, and Gregory Vignal scored, and then Nacho scored the lob. So for me, that was one of the obviously my best days in the shirt, because we absolutely dominated that game from start to finish. Against Big Sutton and Hartson that day. Obviously, remember my diving header. I think it was a free kick, and I was just say Hartson was about to get it, and I just get in front of him, diving header, because it was definitely a goal if he contacted it, and obviously great header, headed away from him, and we ended up beating them 2-0, and then that was where our mentality changed, where we believe we can beat them, and then as time go along, obviously we beat them more times than we did last season.
I was talking about that because Big Alec, Big Eck was probably in a similar situation like Clement's been left in. Probably similar. So maybe Clement needs to get.
See, that just one result talks about that changes the whole mentality, and that's what current manager needs. But the players that was Big Marv was surrounded with. I mean,
that was quality.
Wasn't it top notch? We've not got that, unfortunately.
So I was thinking, Marvin, you're not a big drinker, aren't you? What was it like?
What is it? 70-30?
Well, what do you have to say? What was it? Because they like to party.
Oh my God! I'll say I didn't drink at all. I just went out with the boys and have a good laugh and stuff. But when I first came to Scotland, I used to have the odd Guinness. I used to drink Guinness. Yeah, so I used to. I had a time I went out and had about 8 pints of Guinness. My stomach was all. But generally, I would say the boys. I just used to, because I used to normally be the taxi. Because I used to normally drive anywhere that I go. So I'll just drop the boys back to him. Because he spews in your car and everything. So I need a tenner to clean my car the next day.
I spew in your car?
No, I'm kidding.
Right.
So next time I will.
I could tell a story about what you done in my motor, but I'm not even going to go there. Aye, well, I'm not going to mention it.
Farted?
That was coming down. By the way, what is it you have now? You have about, is it a 70-30 or 60-40?
70-30,
70. I love the way you get the
70-30,
70-30. Maybe we should start that.
70%.
So Marvin, where can we get your book?
Right, so you get in most bookstores now. Obviously, you have you get on Amazon, you get on WH Smith, you get on obviously if you want to get online. There's also Waterstones sell it as well. I think you'll get at the Rangers Superstore as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so you can get in most bookstores is available. I think Hive. I don't know if Hive. I don't know if is a bookstore here or in Belfast or wherever the case may be. But
and I'm sure Marvin will have 10 books in the book.
But what happens? I'll put it out on all my social media today. The book and where you can get it on my Facebook and my obviously X and all this other stuff. So it's all out there now where people can get, and also as I said, the Rangers Superstore as well.
So it's more than it's more than just a football book. It's an insight.
My life, my faith, my God. Yeah, we're coming from Trinidad and Tobago and growing up as a young boy. And stuff.
It'll probably be a really inspiring book, isn't it?
Aye.
So that's I'm looking forward to reading it.
Yeah,
big man.
So,
definitely.
I like the cover. It's cracking on it. It's really nice. We were sitting with David Mason for a wee bit on Saturday at the game.
Aye,
He's one of
lovely to see you guys.
I like David Mason. He's a really nice guy.
Saw we Willie Johnson, Colin Steen, obviously. You were man
Fives.
Martin, Gordon Jury. Gordon Jury was giving you a bit of sticking with that. You still no gave him a book. There you go, Dukey. We've got the books. We've got.
I gave one last night.
What did you give him, man?
We want to make one.
Stop a
We
morning.
want to we hang me for it.
Wee competition.
Because I'll get one off Marv, but
No, you'll know.
Nah, I'll give one. He's my pal.
That's that's a by the way, good shout, Charlie.
Right, what did they need?
I'm going to grab my book and I'm taking it out. Right.
I know. Did you notice there was some Rangers mugs lying in the
Well, they
toilet
all
last week?
disappeared.
They seem to
That's
disappear.
after them.
They loved them.
I thought you were getting more.
I've not made them yet.
My two boys loved them. As soon as I walked in with
great.
them.
Aye.
Oh, they're away. They're in their work.
Well, that's for
So
the Rangers Lotto. So remember, you can be join the Rangers Lotto through us, and I think it's £1 a week or something, but you can win up to £25,000. So definitely worth, and it goes to the youth as well. Right, we're going to talk about the St Johnstone game
How
on
are
Saturday.
how they going to win it?
I thought you were coming up with an idea now.
Maybe Marv can come
In fact,
up
do you know what
with
we'll
a
do? Aye, Marvin, why don't you come up with a
something
question?
maybe.
What about your first game? What was Marvin's first game for Rangers?
And what was it?
I don't know.
Can't say it on
I
air.
can't say it on air.
Right. I know how that dafty.
Aye, so that's what we'll do. So obviously this.
We'll give you the answer.
Aye, so what was Marvin's first ever game for Rangers? And you can win his brand new book. When did it get released? Just today or
No, we gave me this last Sunday.
last Sunday?
Yes.
Once I read that tonight, I'll be able to answer that question.
4th of August.
I
So
might enter the competition.
make sure you follow us. We're actually now only on YouTube, by the way, as well. So if you're wanting to comment on anything, you need to be on YouTube to do it. So the question is, what was Marvin's first game for Rangers? And you can win his brand new book. Okay, right, St Johnstone.
We'll sign it to the winner as well.
Oh, he's going to sign it as well.
Oh, better leave it here then. I'll leave it here then.
Aye, so you can sign it. Aye, we can sign it and
Aye.
post it out.
Takes him about 5 hours to write his autograph. He actually tells a story about his book when he's writing his autograph.
This boy, man. Honestly, how you can have him on your show, man? Honestly.
It's love, mate. It's love, you know that, bro.
I know, bro.
5:45 on Saturday. We've got St Johnstone League Cup. Derek, how do we approach that one?
It's going to be difficult because we're a wee bit flat. I'm actually quite glad I've come in here tonight. Get a wee smile on my face. But listen, we're going to have a few injuries. The recovery's going to be massive. But again, listen, we want to progress in the tournament. Listen, I don't know what the crowd's going to be. Again, Saturday night as well. People might have other things on. What is it, 5:45 at night? But listen, we've got to dust ourselves down. It's a massive disappointment. We're at a kind of a point in the season where we need as much confidence as we can as possible. So we need to win the game, but we need to play well. I still think we need to play better. And I'm going back to Saturday's game against Motherwell. First half was decent, pretty good, but we need a 90-minute display. So we need to win, get into the next round of the competition. But I want to see a real good performance, a good togetherness. Touching one thing, Charlie, did you see it last night with Dessers as well? The wee bit with the fans, we were giving him a wee bit of stick. Don't react, big fella. Listen, we said it earlier, we appreciate you out there giving it your all, but we all need to stick together. It's a difficult period, but no, we need to win it in a good display and gain a wee bit of confidence, because confidence is low at the minute. For not just the players, even among the fans, it is a wee bit flat. It's a wee bit disappointed. I gauge that with my boys as well, because they go to the games, they come back in, and I chew the fat with them, and they're feeling a wee bit down at the moment, to say the least.
I think a lot of the fans are feeling let down by the board, to be honest.
But
Well,
that's another whole programme, isn't it?
That's it, mate. That's what it's all going for. There's money. There's been money there for, well, where the money went for the European run and where the money went for the winning the league and not for kicking on. Because we've not bought a player, a proper quality player since Gerrard left. I think top quality. We've no.
Do you know, I was thinking that when I was at the game on Saturday, who have we got that is a star? You know what I mean?
But see, there's got to be some younger ones as well that you can maybe go, right, just play him, put him in. There's got to be some of them there. If there's none there, they're not doing their job better either then. So we've got to be producing better quality youngsters as well.
Marvin, do you think this is the kind of game, obviously, that we should be bringing young players in, like Charlie's saying?
No, it's you come back again, the risk of bringing in a young player, because obviously all of us will be, yes, you want young players to come in and do well, but what happened when they come in and it didn't work out?
Well, that's
The same fans will slaughter them and tell them they shouldn't be close to the pitch, the team and stuff like that. So I think for young players, obviously in our era, because the first team had good stability and they were good, the younger players could have come and just bed themselves in. Unfortunately, we're in a time where a young player needs to come in, he has to perform, because Rangers need to win, or we need to perform, or we need points and stuff like that. Now, we're talking about the game on Saturday. We're Rangers, we have to be very careful. We have 2 games before the Old Firm. This weekend and next weekend. If we ain't get our confidence up in winning those 2 games by performing and working hard, if we go to Parkhead wounded or with low confidence, we'll be in some serious trouble.
See, just me as a fan, I was just thinking about this there. Like, I was worried before the Hearts game, and I'm kind of even more worried about the Old Firm. Is that anything that would ever come into a player's mind, or are you always confident?
No, you always just got you think you're going to win every game. When you play with Rangers, you've got to think you're going to win every game. That's what I was brought up with through Walter Smith's mentality. The players I played with mentality. We were expected to win every game. Obviously, there's not the same quality in this squad, unfortunately, but there's still good football players there. And I'm just, because I came through the ranks, Marv, that's how, and Derek came through the ranks, that's how we're thinking, where are the kids? How come we've not got anybody? You know, so it kind of annoys me, it frustrates me, but we do have to go and win, because we won this cup last year, we want to win this cup again, and we want to get through. I understand that, definitely, but the confidence has to improve. But I'm sure we can beat St Johnstone on Saturday.
It's a good point, Mark, mates, because they're 2 important games, and it's for the confidence. Because what you get with quality is you get a mentality, and the mentality is they're winners. And I'm not so sure we've got that, enough of that at the moment. So, listen, we've got our work cut out, put it that way.
Aye, anyway.
But by the way, why did we should have just finished with the big fella.
I know.
Get on a high. You know,
I was thinking
you took his there, then you dropped us right back down.
He's brought us back now, just for that laugh. Just for that laugh. I have to admit that.
There's Marvin signing us, guys.
That's it. There you go, Marvin.
You want to sign it?
Aye, we're going to be here for another 20 minutes. Once again, thank you, Marvin, for coming on the show. It's been great.
Thank you,
Cheers, big fella.
Actually, the amount of comments online that you've cheered up. I was about to say Monday night, it's actually Wednesday. So, but big thank you to all our sponsors: Plugged In Business Solutions, the JR Group, Dev Provider, Reflex Blue, The Right Software, and DB Dental Care. And we'll be back next week. And thank you very much, Marvin. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
thanks, Marvin.
Cheers, Marv. Take care.
Still writing that book. Look.
All About the Gers is brought to you by the JR Group, Plugged In Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, Reflex Blue, The Right Software, and Dev Provider. Our chosen charity is the Second Chance Project. All About the Gers are official agents for the Rangers Lotto. For more info and weekly blogs, check out allaboutthegers.co.uk.